Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome everybody, guys. Today we will take a look again on the gold market. So actually this weekend we have the big choice, the possible markets to make a report on. So yesterday we have prepared the update on the euro currency, but currently it's also interesting situation on the British pound. Actually we have the setup there and it's not yet completed, so some potential it still has. And also currently with the new perspective on the crude oil market, it will be interesting to take a look at the Canadian dollar, because in the Canadian dollar, those of you who are tracking our videos and our weekly reports probably know that last time when we talked on the Canadian dollar, we have prepared the update on the weekly chart, and there was the large pattern that hasn't reached the target yet. And with the new perspective on the crude oil, now we're expected to see the price of the oil around $92 per barrel. It really could lead to the drop on the Canadian dollar and reaching finally the target on the weekly pattern. We will try to cover all the subject in our daily updates, but today we will take a look at the gold market by the one important reason. So actually, the thing that why I thought that will be useful to take a look at the gold is the price action that we see on the weekly chart. So if we'll take a look on the weekly, you'll see two important moments. First of all, I would say about this grabber that we've got last week. Initially, we thought that the target of this grabber should be the lows right here, it's 1160. But recently, I have taken a look at the chart and take a look. Actually, guys, here we have another low that's been created by the market, and by the grabber's rule, the target of the pattern is the previous lows. It doesn't specify whether it will be maximum lows within some time period. It just tells that the previous lows should be taken out. And the previous lows, guys, was right here. It means that, in fact, this grabber already has been completed, so at least it has reached the minimal target. And it doesn't mean that gold market can't proceed slightly lower, but what's really important here, guys, that this pattern doesn't suggest that market should drop below these lows. It's not necessary. That's the first moment. Second moment, which is important, guys, on the gold market, is take a look how market is flirting with the 3x3 moving average. If you remember, we said as soon as market has reached the 1160 lows, reached the daily average sold, we said here it should be bounce. And since we have the very good thrusting downward action, we will be watching for some Judd Napoli pattern. It could be bread and butter sell or double repo buy. And with the price action that we see here, it seems that the double repo is very probable, because take a look, we have actually first close above the 3x3 moving average. So we have the first bottom lows of the potential double repo close above the 3x3, close below. Maybe sometime market will spend below the 3x3, which we expect to get. And then we need to get the close above. As soon as we will get the close above the 3x3, we will get the confirmation of the bullish pattern, and that would suggest the action higher, somewhere to 1250, as we said. All this stuff is possible just because market, as you can see, hasn't reached the 3.8 retracement. So we can't speak about the bread and butter because it's just reaching of the major fib level, and that we haven't got. So that's why the only pattern that we could watch here is the double repo pattern. That's very important part of our analysis, our setup, guys, here on the gold market. And in fact, this is the cornerstone of the short-term price behavior that we will analyze and that we will be monitor within the few weeks, I suppose. On the daily chart, now actually, as you can see, that's 5-6 weeks. Market stands in a tight consolidation in the range of this drop of this candle. And it means that market right now stands in the contraction mode. And when the market turns to contraction, we have to drop our time frame, and we forced to work inside of some patterns that are forming and turn to some tactical trading on the follow time frame chart and lower time frames mostly, where currently we'll take some tactical steps while we're waiting when the market will prepare something greater, will complete and will confirm some greater patterns where we could turn to some larger swings. But until this will happen, we will have to deal with some minor setups on the intraday charts probably. So on the daily chart, as you can see, now we're turning to the setups. Here we have Gartley triple to buy that have been formed on Friday. So if you remember, on Friday we thought that maybe this drop to 1180 will be a bit later, but actually it has happened right on the last week, and market actually has completed our weekly targets here. So we have our ABCD pattern has been completed, and market has hit the major 618 support. Here we have the Gartley triple to pattern, but this setup currently, guys, have some degree of the freedom. What I'm talking about. And first of all, if market even will drop slightly lower, it still will be the Gartley triple to buy. And actually, from the perspective of the weekly double repo, we want to see market a bit lower just to make equal the bottoms of the potential double repo. Currently, it's a bit significant. It's a big difference between the bottoms, guys. Double repo needs to get some bottoms that are mostly equal or have some minor difference. But here, the difference is significant. That's why, from perspective of the double repo on the weekly, it will be better if market will show another leg down. So, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it will not be the Gartley triple to buy. It still will be Gartley triple to buy if market even will drop to 1160. So this is the first degree of freedom. And second, with this bounce up, what actually a result of this pattern could be formed. So, for instance, the Gartley triple to buy should be treated as the completed if market will show at least 30% retracement of the action of the Gartley triple to pattern. So once the 30% has been achieved, market is completes the minimal target. So market could proceed higher, but minimal target is completed. And that is what we particularly have right now on the follow time frame chart. So take a look. Here you can see with this upward bounce, market has reached the 1193 area, and actually this is the 30% resistance of the whole downward action. Also take a look, market has retested this trend line. And now it's a big question whether market will continue to move higher or it will turn down to the next downside target. Why we think that this target still could be reached? Mostly by the action that we see here and here. So this collapse right to the OP target was really fast. And if you remember on Friday we have mentioned the kind of the butterfly shape price action here. We just do not call it as a butterfly just because it stands on the top, while the butterfly is a bullish reversal pattern here and should be formed at the bottom. But still, as you can see, the price behavior targets and the shape of the price behavior is the same as for the butterfly. Here, market has hit the 1.7 extensions, 1180, and shows the pullback here. But the action right to this target was really fast. And it means that chances to reach the XOP stands not bad. XOP it will be 1170, 1172. It's also 1618 extension of the same, let's call it as a butterfly, also stands at this area. So that's the primary point that we will keep an eye on as a potential reversal on the market. What we could do in the current circumstances. So if you're a scalp trader, if you're trading on the hourly chart, for example, in lower time frames, you could use this action as a background for some bullish trade in hope that market will show kind of the ABCD action here or somewhere to the 12 even. For example, indeed, you'll drop your time frame to the hourly chart, for example, and watch what will happen. If market here will form a kind of the Gartley triple to buy, you could try and take the long position with the target of the AB equals CD action up. Other traders who are watching for this target should watch for opposite pattern. For example, here, if market will form a kind of the ABCD right to the 12 even, this will be Gartley triple to sell. Something that we were trading on the last week, if you remember here. This was a very good example. So this was our entry point, Gartley triple to sell. Here it has been formed, the market collapsed. So something that sort we'll be watching on the common week. So if ABCD retracement will happen, this will be Gartley triple to sell, and it could really follow the downward action right to the XOP. So that's approximately what we'll be watching for in the gold market. So the same scenario we have discussed yesterday on the euro. So this agreement, these two scenarios, also gives some confidence that maybe particularly this action will happen. Once market will appear at the XLP target, that will be the crucial moment, guys, because here, indeed, upward action could start, big 222 buy will be formed, and that could become the starting point of our weekly double repo pattern. So that will be a very thrilling moment for the gold market because we turn to daily, weekly analysis here from the intraday analysis. But on the common week, guys, we mostly will deal with these tactical steps, tactical patterns, and we'll wait when the market will prepare some big pattern on the daily and the weekly chart.